In this video, we're going to show you the most common mistakes made while trying to activate your core, and we're going to show you how to fix them. Activating their core incorrectly, and it is crucial to sort of put in place these little points as you're going so that you know that you're correctly activating your core, so that you're getting full activation of all the muscles, which will then lead to better muscle recruitment in all areas of your sport, in the gym, even working at your desk during the day. So I'm just going to show you what I often see in the gym. So I'm just going to lift Hale's shirt here. So this is a very basic sort of Pilates exercise where guys go into this tabletop position. So they lift both legs up. And you see already this arching of the back here. And then they drop one heel down to the floor and they lift it up. And they drop the other one down and they think they're getting a great core activation there, but all they're doing is loading into this lower back here. And the hip flexor's there, so they're driving up with the hip flexor instead of using all of their core muscles. So in terms of your core, what we want to be focusing on is a neutral core activation. So we want to be getting your rib cage, all the muscles around your ribs in that to fire and work together, as well as your transverse abdominal muscle, often referred to as the TA muscle. It lies very deep underneath your obliques, and your glutes also play a major role in terms of activating the core. So what we're trying to accomplish is securing your pelvis. So whether you're running, surfing, paddling, the more secure you are in your pelvis and your trunk area, the more efficient you're going to be in your sport, and the less injuries you're going to get. So think about that. So in terms of a cross, the strongest point is the middle. Your torso is your strongest point in your body. So if you have a strong core, torso, hip, pelvis area, you're less likely to pick up injuries in your shoulders, your knees, your ankles, your back, and your hips. So this is what we're going to teach you, how to activate your core properly. Okay, so in terms of activating your core correctly, we're going to start from the top, move our way down. So in terms of your head position, most people that are very tight in your upper body are going to be doing in this extension here. So think about holding a little small ball under your chin. So you're going to slightly sort of chin tuck, but don't over chin tuck either. So you don't want to see lots of kind of ripples here. So just a small little chin tuck, so you're in a nice neutral position. Then with your shoulder blades, you're going to move your shoulders down towards your hips. So kind of slide your hands down towards your hips. And even in this position now, she's still not correct. So she now needs to flatten her shoulder blades against the floor. Okay, so now shoulders are nice and flat. Often what happens next, because your body's going to fight you on different levels, is you can now see the rib cage lifts up. Okay, so now we're going to get the ribs closed together so that sits nice and flat on the floor. So we're going to suck the ribs together. So you're pulling your ribs back down onto the floor, but you're not going into an imprint. So what happens is they move from this sort of extended position here straight into a pelvic tilt, and then all they're doing is activating their hip flexors, and this trunk over here is doing very little work. Plus, if you're going to sit in your boat in this sort of imprinted position, what's going to happen to your shoulders? You're going to not be able to maintain everything. So this is where the neutral activation comes in. So we're going to go through that again. Okay, shoulders are nice and pulled down, flattened onto the mat. You're going to have a little breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to suck your rib cage together. So pretend I've got a corset on her, I'm sucking it together to make you nice and tight. I shouldn't be able to move her. Then she's going to gently pull her belly button in. So two of them are going to kind of zip together. Think of a zip. Without the hips locking and imprinting. So this is staying nice and neutral in the pelvis. I should actually be able to slide my fingers gently under her lower back there. Relax for me. The last little step you're going to do is you're going to pretend you're holding a pencil between your bum cheeks. You're going to gently clench the pencil, activating those glute muscles there. Okay, so we've checked the head position, shoulders. You can have a breath in, breathe out, pull the ribs together, pull in the belly button without imprinting the pelvis, gently clench the glutes. So we've still got a nice long lever here, and this area here is nice and firm. And relax. Alright, so now we're ready to go into the tabletop position without arching our back and recruiting the right muscles. So there's going to be no tension in the shoulders, the neck, everything is going to be working over here, and the glutes are going to start activating. Okay, so let's take both legs up to tabletop position. Right, so when you are moving, that's when I want you to keep the core activated. In this position here, you can be relaxed. You can have a breath in, breathe out, pull in the core, gently clench the glutes, and slowly drop the heel down. Good, and then I want you to almost pull in deeper and bring it up. So you actually feel your stomach muscles bringing the leg back up. Have a breath, down, pull in, and bring it up. And what I can see now is her pelvis is nice and still, whereas before when she was doing it, you could see her pelvis rocking from side to side. How can you imagine you running or you're in your boat paddling, and this is happening the entire session for 2 hours? With the sort of trauma that it's causing in your back is not great, and that's why so many paddlers and runners and surfers have lower back pain. Because now she's nice and stable, her correct muscles are working. She just focuses on her breathing and keeping nice and activated. So this is a common planking error that we see in the gyms. Everyone thinks they're activating their core in this position and that planking is the best thing to work your core. It's not true, because if you're not activating your core properly, then you're not actually doing anything. So at the moment, Hels is just loading into her back, loading into her hip flexors, and she's getting a lot of neck up track tension here. You can see her shoulder blades are winging. So we want to get her into a better position here. The first thing you're going to do is work on activating your core properly, which I'm going to show you. Once you're in that position, then you can put yourself into a plank. Okay, so we're going to start correction from the top. So we're going to get your head in the correct position. So you're going to chin tuck as if you're holding onto a little peach. Don't overly chin tuck. Your eyes are sort of just directly ahead of you on the floor. People often make the mistake of overextending their neck, and they're already creating tension in their neck and shoulders. Right, so we've corrected Hayley's head position. We're now going to correct the shoulder position. Go and have a look back at our shoulder video. And you're unsure how to set your shoulders, go and have a look at that video. So I want you to do a bit of extension here. Okay, we're taking her away, then winging, a little more extension, and then I want you to lift your hips up. Right, then we're going to activate the core by pulling the rib cage in together. So if you're wearing a corset, you're going to suck the belly button in, and you're going to clench the glutes together. Clenching bum cheeks, lifting here. So you should mainly be feeling this line in your stomach. There shouldn't be any tension in the shoulders, hip flexors, everything is driving from the stomach core. The reverse bridge. Another exercise we see a lot of. Everyone's like, wow, it's a great exercise for hamstrings. But if you're doing it incorrectly, and you've got a back issue already, you're just going to irritate those muscles in your lower back and hip flexors. So, to run you through quickly again, Hels is going into a bridge and she's hyper-arching her back, so she's pushing straight up. You can see her hip flexors are overactivated. She's got this big arch in her back, and this is where all the pressure is, so she actually is probably feeling very little in the hamstrings and the glutes. And then even coming down plays a role, so putting your bum straight down first is also just loading straight into the lower back there. So how to do it correctly? Same thing, from the top, nice head position, holding onto your peach gently, shoulders, make sure shoulders aren't rounded. If you're very tight in your thoracic, you're going to have to work extra hard to lengthen out from the thoracic down as you roll your back down to start position. Okay, so shoulders in nice position, shoulders flat against the floor. Your rib cage still plays a big role here, so you're still going to suck your rib cage in together. You're going to still pull in your belly button, but this time we're going into a spinal imprint. So we're going to tuck our pelvis, so that your lower back now flattens onto the mat. Whereas before we learned in neutral alignment, now we're going into pelvic tuck, so let's just show that. So relax out of it and tuck into it. And relax out of it and tuck into it. Also a great exercise if you do have a bit of lower back stiffness, good exercise to do in the morning before you're doing activities. Okay, so you're going to stay into that tuck now, and make sure you don't lose this pelvic tilt as you lift your hips up. So when you're coming up now, you're going to clench your glutes together, you're going to push up through your heels, and you're going to slowly roll your spine up, keeping your imprint, and as soon as you feel, so depending on your range, as soon as you lose that imprint, you've got to bring it back, so you've got to maintain that pelvic tilt. Right, so now you should be feeling your glutes and hammies, nothing in the hip flexors, and obviously still, which also is doing a lot of work in terms of your abs and your ribs and your TA muscle. From the top now, you're pushing down hard with your hands here as well, so you're going to feel your triceps. Because if you don't, then you're going to lose your shoulders, so your shoulders are going to start rounding forward again. Right, from here now, I want you rolling down from the top of your spine, unraveling as you go. You feel a nice stretch. So you're moving all the way, stretching out your spine as you roll down. All the way down, back into your imprint, and then you roll out of the imprint. Okay, so another common error that happens, so if you do have those tight shoulder blades, tight upper tracts, tight thoracic area, when you come down, so we're just going to roll up again, so go into your imprint, clench your glutes, and lift up. So when you're coming down, you're going to work really hard on rounding the shoulders. So if you touch her, you're going to see it. Nails is really tight in the shoulders. You can see how the shoulders are already letting go, and she's rounding, and then so you can still unravel rounding your shoulders, and that's still incorrect. So you need to then work extra hard on keeping that neutral shoulder position there. So you're going to push down hard with your hands, and you're going to slowly roll down, keeping your shoulders also flat on the mat. And you get a really nice stretch all the way down. And you roll out of it. Okay, so as soon as you're putting pressure to your heels, you're also going to get a little bit more glute activation. If you start bridging and you're pushing from your toes, you're going to get more into the hip flexors. So we're going to run through it one more time. Okay, head position, shoulders pulled down, nice and flat on the mat. You're going to have breath in. You're going to breathe out, you're going to pull the ribs in, pull in the belly button. You're going to clench your glutes, you're going to tuck into an imprint, so your lower back is flat. Can't get my hands underneath her now. And she's going to push up through her heels. She's going to roll up, making sure she's feeling it only in the glutes and hammies. There's no tension in the back. And then maintaining her shoulder position, she's going to slowly roll down. So you're holding at the top for 3 to 5 seconds. And she's slowly going to roll down. Lengthening out as she goes down. She's going to roll out of it. She's going to have a breath. She's going to breathe in through her diaphragm. She's going to breathe out, pull the ribs together, pull in belly button, roll into imprint, clench the glutes, and lift. And hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slowly roll down, unraveling each vertebra as she goes.
Okay, so we're going to look a little bit at some really sort of common mistakes that we see with side plank. And there's also a lot of versions to the side plank from modified to advanced. And then we're going to look at adding a little bit more glute activation into some of those movements as well. So what Lynn's going to do is show us quite a typical bad mistake that we see with side plank positioning. So Mac, if you can just move into some incorrect side plank positions. Okay, so quite typically what we're seeing here is that her shoulder's really out of place, so her elbow's far too far. So Mackie, you can relax. What's really important here is to try and get your weight distribution correct. So quite simply, you just want to be in alignment. So make sure that your elbow is tucked underneath your shoulder, so either directly under the shoulder or slightly inwards, which will give you more opportunity to use these sort of lateral muscles to stabilize you. So Mackie, you can lift up. So what we're looking more for now is that there's a little bit more alignment, elbows either under the shoulder or slightly in. But what also typically happens is that his hips hang low. So she wants to use her core to try and lift up through the hips. So what you're trying to imagine there's a rope pulling you up towards the ceiling. So you're extending through here to work these inside obliques. Your lat can start to function nicely as well. Okay, Mackie, you can relax down there. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the full posture of a normal plank position. We're going to work down from head to toe, and then I'm going to get Lynn to do some more modified options as well. So bearing in mind the two major corrections that we've seen, which is that sagging hips and the elbow shoulder position. Okay, so you can start where we were at. Alright, so we're going to start with Lynn's head. Obviously you want to get into a position where she's nice and symmetrical again. So she wants to have the head as a direct extension from her spine up into her neck, and then a slight chin tuck in the front there, like we've been talking about. She's just gently squeezing into her ball, so everything's nice and neutral, and she's pretty much looking forward or slightly down in front of her. Alright, from there we're going to move to shoulders. This is what we keep saying, we need to keep that nice open chest. So she's opening up her shoulders, she's gently stabilizing and activating between her shoulder blades or scapular muscles. She's got really good alignment, elbow under the shoulder, so that's in a correct and healthy position for the shoulder, and she can recruit her lat muscles and all these muscles around her rotator cuff. Nice straight flat back, nice open body. From here, her hip, she's lifting up towards the ceiling, so now she's really getting all these muscles on the bottom side of her body, the side closest to the floor, to work. Immediately you'll see there's more space between the hip and the floor, and obviously she's moving up high towards the ceiling. Okay, once we've corrected head, neck, and shoulder and hip alignment, we're basically just looking to make sure that the legs are stacked nice and evenly on top of each other, feet are nice and flat, knees are extended, and there we have it, correct plank positioning. Okay, so next we're going to show you a modified plank. This is a really great place to start if you're battling with a traditional plank, or if you're coming back from an injury or kind of new to core exercises. So what Lynn's going to do is she's going to tuck both her knees back, so that knees, hips, and shoulders are still in a straight line, and her feet are tucked back behind her body. We'll often see people doing a modified plank with the knees too far forward. Make sure you're back, and really important to be nice and aligned. So just like a traditional plank, she's going to lift up on that one elbow, and there's her basic positioning. So as before, we're going to go through from head down to knees and toes. Once again, that nice correct head position, direct alignment with her spine, slight chin tuck in the front. She wants to focusing on opening both those shoulders and really stacking up nice and high through that shoulder. Elbow is under the shoulder or slightly in towards the ribs, which gives her a chance to really use her lats, rotator cuff, all those muscles stabilizing the shoulder. Nice open chest. Okay, from there we're looking at hip space. So we want Lynn to push up through the bottom hip as if there was a rope pulling her up to the ceiling, really forcing her to use her obliques and her core and this bottom glute to do the stabilizing. And then from there, shoulder, hip, knee, all in one nice alignment. The hips are pushed slightly forward, not arching, but just getting her forward so that she's working through her glutes. And then we have the modified plank position. Okay, so once you have mastered your plank and your side plank positions, modified and advanced, there are also ways that you can give yourself some more glute work. So if you're trying to improve your glute strength, get more glute activation. So once Lynn's got this really good modified side plank going, neck and head, chest, hips, everything's nice and correct, we want to try and get the glutes to work a little bit more, and it'll make the entire drill a little bit more advanced. So what she's going to do is she's going to abduct this top leg, good, and she can just open and close it. And what she's looking to do is stay really stable, nothing else moves, there's still good lift here towards the ceiling, but she's focusing on using this glute to lift and lower this top leg, which is actually still going to make the bottom hip circuit work really hard, and of course you'll feel some work up here as well. And you can do 10 to 15 reps with a bent knee or with a straight leg. So Lynn's just going to show you the straight leg version, and same applies. Nothing else is moving, everything else is staying open and stable, focusing on using this glute to lift the top leg and this bottom leg to stabilize. Okay, so our last and probably the most advanced, at least of this version of planking, is a traditional straight plank with a straight leg abduction on the top leg. So Lynn's going to move into that position. So she's in her really good plank position, head, neck, hips, shoulders. What she's going to do is abduct that top leg. What you're going to have to be aware of is that you want to make sure that leg and that toe stays aligned. As soon as you turn your toe outwards in rotation, you're going to end up activating core and hip flexor, which is actually going to aggravate your hip. And then the last thing to bear in mind is don't be alarmed. Your bottom hip, your bottom glute will actually feel like it's doing the most work, not the top, although you will be getting activation in the top glutes as well. Thanks very much for watching our video. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe. Please let us know in the comment section which was your favorite exercise and which one you battle the most with. We'd be happy to share some more information with you. If you would like a PDF containing all these exercises we've just taken you through, please click on the link in our comment section and we'll be happy to share that with you.